Nice to wake up to this morning. Slept pretty well last night. Woke up to a huge crash this morning. I have no idea what it was. Sounded like a tree falling down behind my tent. But I jumped out and looked and there was nothing there, so who knows? I guess it's the forest and trees fall down and things happen anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna get up, have a little breakfast, get things together really quick, head out. I've got about a 2-hour hike to Afton. I'll pick up my box, and there's a little place out by the street that opens around 10 o'clock called King Gourmet Popcorn. And if they're open, which I have no idea if they'll be, maybe I'll have a little snack or something and jump back on the trail. And it'll be a little shorter day today since I'm going from shelter to shelter where they have these bear poles and boxes and stuff. And so I think I just have about 14 miles to hike plus that extra distance to the post office. So anyway, it shouldn't be too tough of a day. I'm looking forward to just a little change and getting to the post office and maybe stopping in at a little store. So maybe I'll just stay here for about one more minute and watch and listen to this water before I get going. Just like I was talking about the other day, the old days. I mean, this used to be people's land. It used to be people's homes. Gosh, just sit and think about that for a minute. That's amazing. Think of the history that happened around that fireplace. The hard times out here. Trying to make it in this environment. Who lived there? How many people lived there? For how long? I just crossed a little stream a couple hundred feet back and I was surprised to see it so soon. So I looked at my papers and I realized that I only had to do 5 miles this morning to get into Afton, or to get into the gap, to Rockfish Gap, where I peel off and hike that extra mile down to Afton. But I thought I had to do 6 miles to get there, so I don't know, those, as detail-oriented as I am sometimes about things and planning and knowing what's up, out here I find that sometimes those things get a little lost. I just, I'll look at my paper or I'll figure out everything, but then I just get immediately sidetracked by something I have to do. I have so much time to just think out here, so much stuff to look at. Things just get, I don't know, the details get a little fuzzier. I think probably because they don't matter as much, so they're not locked in my brain and I'm just thinking about so many other more enjoyable things. Anyway, so yeah, my day's going fast. 1 less mile to get where I'm going, or my first waypoint where I'm going today. And so 1 mile more, there's another stream, and then I believe, I have to look and make sure I had this right, but I'm pretty sure that's like the last water that I really have until I get to my shelter tonight. So I will need to, here's a little spring that's not even on my guide right there. Just crossing over. Anyway, I will just have to get all the water that I need for the rest of the day until I get to that shelter. I'll just have to carry it into the post office with me and, you know, stuff like that, just to have that extra water, because when I get out of the post office, I'll jump back on the trail and there won't be anything else until I get to my shelter tonight. So I'll want to have just the right amount, so when I get to the shelter, I've got 1 inch of water left in one of my bottles, hopefully. It always works out that way, you know. I've stopped at the stream to get some water, and there's an older couple back there who live in Waynesboro, and just walk up here just from the top of the hill, I guess, down to, or whatever they said, the top of the hill, down to that stream periodically. I don't know, every day or quite often. And anyway, they were great. Just had to sit and talk with them. They told me might be a little shortcut trail to the post office up here. So I'll try that out. And we talked about the gourmet popcorn place that I'm hoping is open, and sweet people. Well, I'm almost to the highway and where I'm going into Afton, but I just wanted to show you the map here. This is, you know, generally the area where we've been at. So that's Reed's Gap. Remember me going through there the other day and talking about Devil's Backbone Brewery. And so since then, I've come down through this area, all through, and then Paul C. Wolf Shelter right there is where I stayed last night. And I've continued down, and boom, Rockfish Gap, I-64. So that's where I'm crossing. And then instead of going that 3 miles this way to Waynesboro, I'm just going to go a mile this way to the Afton Post Office. Then I'll get back on and head off the map. So that's what my day's looking like today. All right, got to figure out how to get to the post office. At the sign back there that I was showing you, the map on it, there was a little side trail here, and I think maybe that's what that gentleman was talking about down at the stream. And I looked on my maps and it doesn't show anything here, but I looked on Google Maps and it shows something called the Blue Ridge Trail / tunnel. And so I don't know, this is obviously a cut trail, and on the map it appears to be taking me where I want to go, so I'm gonna try this out. That would be really awesome if this just took me, it looks like it just takes me right to the road into Afton, into where the post office is. So I don't know, I may have to backtrack a mile, but hopefully it's going to save me about 3/4 of a mile. So we shall see. Well, this path did not take me where I hoped it would, but it did take me down to this road where I think I can get on, and it just means I didn't have to hike along the turnpike, which is nice. So anyway, didn't save me a ton of time, but it saved me some of that hiking along, you know, where people are driving 80, so it's great. Well, I'm walking down this gravel road called Stagecoach Road to the post office, and gorgeous views out here. It's that trail that I took that brought me down here. Wow, pretty. The trail that I took that brought me down here came out kind of in someone's backyard and had all sorts of no trespassing signs and American flags up and all sorts of things. And so I am definitely not going back the same way, which means I'm gonna have to hike along the turnpike probably to get back if I can't get a hitch. But anyway, I'd rather take a chance with a hitch than some guy's shotgun. All right, well, got my package and I'm heading back. Got a little bit of a phone charge at the post office. Got everything unpackaged, sorted out, ready to get back on trail soon. That was pretty big. Well, made it back from the post office to the trail, so it worked. Like I already said, for anybody who is sending things to Afton, you know, when you get here to this board talking about heading south on the AT and then the humpback parking area, you can take that little side trail off to the east, and again, like I said, doesn't take off a ton of time, but you know, a decent little amount, and it keeps you from having to walk on the parkway, so that's good. So I made it out here to the Blue Ridge Parkway. So Blue Ridge Parkway that way, which is the way I came from, and then becomes Skyline Drive going into Shenandoah. So the AT just heads right up off that road. But I am choosing to just take this little detour to go down here and see if this King's Popcorn whatever place is open. And if it is, great. If it's not, then I'll just turn around and head back a short distance. Jump on the AT and go. Well, this place does not look open at all, even though it says online it's open. But it's all locked up. And not doing business. Well, what a bummer. King's Gourmet Popcorn. Hiking in nature. I'm just coming out of the trail into this opening. Which way do you think I should go? That way? Or that way? I say let's not get prosecuted. This is my first exit of the trail out onto Skyline Drive, which I will be doing many times now. That looks like a trail maybe, but I should be following, but there's no blaze. Where is there? Oh, I don't know. Whatever, I'm going this way. Go everywhere, study everything, fear nothing. Okay. There's a blaze across the way over there. So that's where I'm heading. Right over there. Hikers are like birds. You give them any flat spot to sit, and they will perch themselves there. And that's what I'm doing here on this little wall. Ugh. Have a quick snack before I head off onto the trail. So I said this is the first crossing I'm doing of Skyline Drive, and it's at McCormick Gap, labeled over there. And I didn't look far enough ahead to see how much, but I know that I cross at least one more time today. Yeah, I have a pretty steep ascent coming up here, and then go for a little bit and descend again and cross, and then I don't know if I cross more later or not, but I certainly do quite a few times over the next few days. I'm ascending 400 and some feet to Bear's Den Mountain, and then I have to descend 400 and some feet, and that'll get me the next road crossing, Skyline Drive. But first of all, it says on my guide, it says Bear's Den Mountain, and it says communication towers, comma, tractor seats, which seems really weird. And I'm coming up here and look at this. There's propane tank. There's all sorts of propane tanks back there. This says something, FAR channel, radio frequency hazard. Of course, there's a big communication antenna, so there you go. Guess that's what communication tower means. And interested to see what tractor seats means. And I hope I'm almost there. I think I am. Beautiful little area. Different foliage, different kinds of trees and stuff I haven't really seen around here much. And I hear motorcycles on Skyline Drive. I can't be too far away. Wow, I was just walking along here. It's been pretty warm and just muggy today. I just walked into this. I didn't even go down or anything. I was just walking along, and all of a sudden I just walked into this cold air. I have no idea why it was cold, but I'm still in it. I mean, it was just really chill. It feels so good. I know I'm gonna walk out of it any second. How strange. Oh yeah, there it is. I can feel it warming up again. Dang. I might just have to go camp back there. Now that is a communication tower. Puts that last one to shame. Just round to the corner and that thing is out here in the middle of nowhere. Oh, and another one and another one. My gosh. Well, interesting sight to see out here. And now we know why it said tractor seats. I have no idea. I guess it's just like a little campground hangout area. Where better to hang out than, you know, right here where you can get your head nuked by microwaves. Ah.